Hello, all you hardcore boxing fans out there. How you doing? It's Russ here from Porkys Corner, the biggest gob in sport. I say the things on here that nobody dare say. Today, I'm joined by my sponsor from Human Nutrients, Mark. How you doing, Mark?
Hi, how are you, Russell? You all right?
Right, mate. What you on with?
Yeah. Good seeing you. Yeah.
Nice to link up with you. Obviously, I
Been
got
good.
we're putting that video out a few weeks ago, and things seem to be going all right. How's it at your end? Everything all right?
Fantastic. I've had a lot of inquiries as it goes. A few people checking the website, and I've obviously a few people buying it and asking me exactly how you take it and what's the best, how long is it before you start actually seeing results. And it's usually about 10 days, and then it really kicks in after about a month. So yeah, it's been really good.
Good.
A lot of exposure and all over the world as well. I've got people from
Yeah.
Thailand, Canada, and it's amazing the reach that you've got on this channel. So yeah, really
Yeah,
good.
yeah, we do. There's a few from Thailand watch, Australia, New Zealand. Not many, but they do email me in and
That's
stuff.
right. Yeah, yeah. There's a spectrum, like, but
Yeah.
it's great. Yeah, it's great the exposure.
Mainly 91% UK, and then so many in America and Europe and that, but mainly UK.
Oh, okay.
Uh, okay, we like thought we'd have a bit of a chat about boxing. I know you like to keep in shape and that, and I don't know if you keep your finger on the pulse like I do. I know you like to watch fight. You've been to some world title fights in the past, haven't you, growing up?
I have. Yeah, yeah. But I don't keep my finger on the pulse quite like you do, but I do enjoy a good boxing match. Yeah.
Yeah,
I love the build up and attention to it, the spectacle.
yeah. Uh, Jake Paul against Anthony Joshua. Barry Hearns just said this evening that it's close to being finalised for end of year. That's a gimme fight for Joshua, isn't it? I mean, you think?
Yeah, but do you know what? No, people are going to slate me for saying this, but I have been so surprised at how heavy-handed and he moves well as well. He really does. I'm surprised at how well. Oh God,
Jake Paul.
Jake moves. Yeah, and he's heavy-handed. Yeah, when he hits, he seems to hit. I'm not saying he's in Anthony Joshua's league, but I think he'll put on a show.
Yeah, yeah.
If it's not a Mike Tyson type affair, where the results already determined.
Yeah, I've seen him on bag and that, and obviously he can handle his son. But you'd like to think that Anthony Joshua, a decorated amateur, two-time world champion, would have more than enough in locker for him. Plus, he's not been out at ring 20 odd year like Mike Tyson, has he? Really?
Very true. Yeah, yeah. Well, I think Anthony Joshua fights behind a large frame
Yeah,
as opposed to pure aggression or pure skill. I think he's got a very large frame. He boxes. He's well on it, but I don't think he's a top caliber fighter myself at
oh,
all.
Joshua now.
You No, no, I'm not overly impressed. I would like growing up in the 80s and 90s and seeing that class of boxers, it's just completely different to what we got
Yeah,
today. Your Holyfields and your Tysons and Lennox Lewis is running around. They were very, in my opinion, a different league.
yeah. To
But
Joshua.
as I say, I'm not a big connoisseur as yourself or obviously your viewers on the channel.
Well, I don't think that Joshua's in Lennox Lewis, Riddick Bowe, Mike Tyson's league, and Holyfield, them sort of guys. No, I don't think that. So we agree on something. uh, what's your opinion,
Fantastic.
Mark, on fighters nowadays that are taking performance enhancing drugs? They're getting caught, they're pleading not guilty, they're hiding behind lawyers, and then they're coming back after a couple of years out and notes said about it, and nobody can talk about what happened because everybody's signed a non-disclosure. What do you think about all that that's going on in sport?
Well, if there were PEDs, 2 years later, it's going to be completely out of the system. Any gains that they've made are pretty much going to be lost.
Yeah,
But I think what is frightening is you've got peptides and you've got undetectables
yeah,
that are out there that really do add a fitness to them and beat power. And yeah, they're hitting harder. But I think after a couple of years, yeah, the guys kind of, the system's clean. Any gains have been lost, and obviously, they want him back in the game, don't they? He's obviously a high earning boxer, sells tickets, and they want him back in the ring. And I think that's why he gets swept under the carpet. A lifetime ban, I think that's a bit over the top. But again, all right, we've got the cheating element to it and all this, that, and the other. But at what level do you put it? I think a 2 year ban's probably reasonable.
Mm.
What do you think, Russell?
Well, I think
What's your opinion on
Fury
it?
got a 2 year ban for a performance enhancing drug, a cocaine, and the third one he refused completely to have a test. So he went into wilderness after that for a good few years. That was going back a few years like now, but yeah, Liam Cameron got a 4 year ban for one cocaine. Uh, he was a fighter who worked
Wow.
with the stable I was working with in Sheffield some years
Yeah.
ago. And I thought that was harsh.
No, I don't. Yeah. Do you know what? I just think they're throwing the book at him, like, cocaine, all terrible, narcotic, drug, whatever, you know. But as far as performance enhancing goes, that's not going to help him in any kind of way. Do you know
No,
what I mean?
I think
Even being on
coke
it at
is
the
it?
time, that is definitely not something that's going to help him.
No.
So
People
I
can
think
have
it's
you wrong
extreme.
on that, though,
I
can't
think
they?
that's extreme, that is.
Pardon?
I think that's extreme, like
Yeah, I do.
a full man on the coke when someone who's on, like, steroids or growth hormone or whatever, they're getting like a 2 year ban, and that really is making a difference in in their performance, in their recovery. It is a huge thing for an athlete to be on that as opposed to a clean athlete. Whereas coke, it's not doing a fighter any favors.
What about if they're trying to make weight in fight week, Mark? Can coke help them then?
I suppose, but there's better ways of doing it. At the end of the day, you're going to leave yourself tired. You're going to leave yourself depleted. You're not gonna feel the same. You're going to feel like you're going to feel down off the coke. So it's not a good idea to you lose, to cut weight like that. Okay, it may stem your hunger a little bit, but I don't think a fighter that's going to be making weight is actually going to be hungry. He's not going to be like eyeing up the donuts, wanting to eat them, kind of thing. So. I don't think it's going to help in any kind of way.
Okay. Since
Like
boxing
what's
began,
it's got
going
to
back,
be a recreational drug, and he's got caught with it at some point in his system, as opposed to something that's in the protocol to try and help him win fights. Do you know what I mean? That's how I view it.
yeah, okay. Since boxing began, going back to John L. Sullivan years and 100 odd years, who would you say is the most exciting fighter that you've ever seen in all the old footage and whatever?
I used to like Jack Dempsey. I did.
Did you?
Yeah, yeah. The Rocky Marcianos and Jack Dempsey's. The explosive smaller guys. For the heavyweight division. And they were very exciting to watch.
Well, Dempsey would be at light heavyweight now, wouldn't
Oh
he?
yeah,
And Rocky would
I
be.
suppose. Yeah, yeah. Moved on. What
Uh,
would Rocky be these days?
Pardon?
What would Rocky be
He'd
these
be a
days? Would he be a
cruiserweight, wouldn't
heavyweight?
Rocky Marciano these days. So would Henry Cooper.
Okay.
Yeah, they'd be a cruiserweight then. Because people have got bigger, haven't they? Have you noticed?
Yeah.
Ring one, nearly 20 stone against us.
Yeah, they've got taller, bigger frames. Yeah, genetically, yeah, stronger athletes, I suppose. Over the years.
Will this Saudi money last forever, do you think, Mark?
Well, that's all down to petrol. That's all down to what they're digging out the ground, isn't it? You know, it's an oil-rich country, and if the oil dries up, or there's some new form of energy, then things are going to change. But I'm really surprised at what's happening in Las Vegas. Everything's moved out of there. Casinos, apparently, they're running at losses at the moment. They can't get the tourists in. The place is falling apart. And having been to Vegas, I never thought that would happen to it. The strip's dead.
Do you think
I
that's
didn't.
the boxing?
I always thought Vegas would be the hub. So surprisingly, yeah, it's following where the money is. Boxing.
Do you think that's because the big shows are now in Saudi?
It's obviously where the money is. It's where the promoters are putting it on. Like, the whole reason like it was done in Vegas is to pull the gamblers in. You know, they put the big shows on and it pulls people in, and everyone has to go on the slot machine or the blackjack. And that was the business model. But all that seems to be changing. And as I said, like, what I'm reading is the casinos are losing, like, something crazy, like $1 million a day, some of them.
Yeah, it's
So it's failing, and Vegas is going to keep failing.
mm. They'll have to pay bigger site fees if they want the big fights, then, won't they? The Vegas casinos, I mean.
Yeah.
Okay,
But I think for the time being, I think it's getting more and more established as well, Saudi, with the Grand Prix, with everything, with all the sporting events. And yeah, it's getting more and more established.
good.
And
Uh,
have they done some kind of concession with drinking out there as well,
is that
to
what?
make it more Westerner friendly? I think they've done something as well with the drinking, like, obviously being a very strict Muslim country, Saudi Arabia. I think you're allowed to drink out there now, aren't you, in certain designated spots like Dubai, to make it more friendly to Westerners, if you like.
Is it true
So
out
they're
there in
trying.
Saudi?
They want.
Sorry, I was going to ask you. Is it true
So
in
again,
Saudi? Is it true in Saudi that the king can suddenly decide one day, right? We've said they can drink, but today they're not drinking, and that's what happens all the way, and it passes all the way through the country.
I don't know, but I should imagine generally in a lot of the Muslim countries, it's more of a yeah, the king has the last say, as opposed to it, going through Parliament and being passed. So I should imagine that's true. I don't know because I haven't actually been to Saudi, but I should imagine that's the case. Yeah, the king's got the final say.
Okay. Women's boxing, Mark. What do you think about it? And do you agree that at the moment it's not what it were a few years ago? So it seems to be dying, doesn't it?
I don't really. I don't really watch women's boxing. Like, it's not something that would draw me to go and stand and watch it. Um, I don't, it, I don't really, it doesn't bring me joy to see two women going at it hell for leather. And I know that, they go through the training aspect just the same, but it's not something that I'm a great fan of, the women's boxing, I've got to say.
Okay.
And
Uh,
that's probably, why it's, slowly fading away.
yeah. Yeah, well, we've got world champions like Terry Harper fighting on really, really tiny shows, small old shows in Doncaster, and she's a world champion. I just think, wow, you know what I mean? But
It's a
okay,
shame as well to go through that kind of dedication,
yeah,
just like a guy, all the same amount of dedication, effort, and work and risk. And then, you're getting a small paycheck in a local town hall show, So, yeah, it's a bit of a shame for them to. I think it maybe should be a bit bigger. It all depends, like where the women like it as well. Whether the paying customer wants to see that.
yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. Okie dokie. Well, listen, thanks for coming on. It's been a real pleasure. I'm going to pin your link to the comments section. So anybody who wants to see Mark's website, it'll take you straight there. Click on the pinned link in the comment section, pinned by me, and you can check his products out on his website. And there's more products in the future coming out in the mark.
That's right. We've got more coming online very soon. We've got some omega-3s, some proanthocyanins that stimulate the growth hormones of the brain, inducing neurogenesis, which is good for memory, mood, motivation, and also concussion recovery. And obviously, the what we've got at the moment, the flagship one, is the NMN and resveratrol. And this is a new, basically it's cellular energy. Once you're over 25, your NAD levels start to decline. NAD is a cofactor that's only found within your cells, but all of your cells. And this declines with age. And by the time you get to 50, you've lost about half of it. So if you take this, it actually rewinds the clock, gives you more cellular energy, just like when you was in your 20s and 30s. And taking it myself, I've got to say, I really noticed it's like it's allowing me to train 6 days a week and recover from it as well. And I haven't been able to do that for years. you know. So I'm thrilled with it. Yeah, it's and everyone, I'm getting some really good feedback as well, which is nice to see. Even off my mum,
Good.
bless her, 76, and it's a new lease of life, giving her plenty of energy.
Well,
So
listen.
yeah, if you look on the website Human Nutrients, we've got some diet some diet news on there, talking about diet plans and what you can do for your heart, cardiovascular system, and brain.
All right. Sorry about connection. Bit of a bad connection. There's like a pause delay on it. Okay. Well, listen. Thanks for coming on, Mark. It's been a real pleasure to catch up with you, and we'll have you on next week. Is that all right?
That's fantastic. Good seeing you, Russell.
All right. Listen.
Speak
You
to you
take.
now then.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
See you later. Bye bye bye.
Well, that was Mark, the chief CEO, whatever they call it, of Human Nutrients in Brum, or somewhere around there. I don't know what area that good, do I, at the moment? So nice to get him on. Nice to hear his opinion on boxing. I don't think he's a hardcore like me and some of mine that have come on here. So go easy on him, but there's hope in there yet. You know what I mean? We've got to keep him sweet, haven't we? Keep him on hook. So that's about it. All right. Thanks for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment. I'm off to watch Highwayman now with Woody Harrelson and the guy out Robin Hood, Kevin Costner. I'm going to watch that tonight with a Coco. All right. So thanks for sharing videos as well. And leave a comment in comment section. Let me know what you think. And don't forget to check Mark's product out. Human Nutrients. It's pinned in comment section to the top of comments. All right. Should light up blue. It'll take you there. You can have a little look. All right. And then you'll look in big shape like Big P. I used to have big old bat wings, didn't I, back in the day? So, all right. Well, peace out. We're indoors now.